I'm just saying. That means if you don't take it home, I gotta take it home and then throw it out. She's calling already. Look at this.
Yep, that's good. We can go ahead and lock.
Let's get her on.
Yep.
Okay, here you go. You should be on.
Hey, can you hear me? All right, I'm going to bring you on in just a second.
Echo.
Okay. See if I can get my producer to fix that.
Here we go with the echo again.
Okay, yep. Good.
Did it go away?
All right, yeah, we're ready to get started.
Okay, let's do that, buddy.
You can do the intro
ready
music.
and I'm ready.
Cool.
Okay?
Yep.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. You started. Music.
Good evening. What's going on, everybody? This is the Freedom Truth Radio Show, hosted by the one and only Vincent Scott. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is January 28th already. Can't believe this is the end of January. Every Sunday night, we're here at 9:30, and we're glad to be here tonight. This is our last show for the month of January. I have a very special guest. We're going to get right into bringing her on. Her name is Rachel Smith. She is the sister of a good friend of mine who is a fellow musician. And this beautiful young lady has a great story. Although the events that brought her to that story were somewhat traumatic, the greatness of her story is that she survived and she has triumphed through that circumstance, and now she's a living testimony and advocate for helping other young women who have encountered the same thing that she has. Rachel Smith, are you on the air?
Yes, I am.
Welcome to Freedom Truth Radio Show. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for agreeing to come on and tell us about your story. I read your story some months back on Facebook and thought it was very courageous of you to share what you had been through and what you had encountered. And if you don't mind, just to refresh and bring the people up to speed, what brought you to sharing that story about yourself and just, being an open book and just, putting yourself out in the front?
I want to say probably because I didn't have anyone do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of talk about sexual violence or any type of assault in the church really. And I never wanted anyone else to feel like they were going through situations alone. So I felt very, very, very alone when I went through what I was going through. And I just, I knew that I wasn't the only one who had, been through that, but there's no one talking about it. So I wanted to talk about it to try to bring some healing to some other young women and also young men who have dealt with the same thing that I did.
Wow. How old were you?
I just turned 18.
Wow.
I was fresh out of high school.
Fresh out of high school. Wow. That's something. And were you on your way to college then?
I was registered for classes. I graduated in June. Classes started in August. So it happened right at the very end of June.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. So how long did you feel as though you had to keep silent about this, or that maybe nobody would listen?
I want to say up until, so I graduated high school in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated college in 2016. And so I started actually sharing my story, I want to say in 2014, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about 3-4 years that I really kept it to myself.
Wow. And so let me ask you this. So is it a possibility that what led you to begin being open about it was that maybe you saw some other people that encountered the same thing on your college campus? Because that's prevalent amongst women on college campuses too.
It was two things really. It was one of my aunts. I had a conversation with one of my aunts, and she has a blog as well, and that's actually where I posted it, or where where the stories were posted first. So I'm talking to her about it, and she just encouraged me to share it. She said because it's not normal that people are still in their right state of mind after they deal with something like that.
Right.
So it was her saying that, and it was me being in school and actually going to a therapist, which gave me the courage to talk about, with everything I've gone through. And I actually did an event I spoke at an event at my school regarding sexual assault.
That's great. That's great. We need as much awareness brought to that as possible, because sad to say that so many people who have gone through this hold it. Matter of fact, some people go to the grave with it. And then
right.
Even more sad is that people who have been victims of this, when they do try to talk about it or explain the situation, nobody believes them. They think they're just making this up, like you just fantasizing. Like who would make something up that traumatic?
Right.
That's crazy. Did you get any kind of rejection in the beginning when you first started sharing?
Absolutely. It was actually right after something happened. I said something to one person, and that was what made me shut up. It was it was a friend of a friend, and the way that everything happened, she said, "Girl, you're," and she called me a derogatory term because of the way that the situation happened. She said, "You're," basically she called me a hoe.
Wow.
And I was just like, well, it wasn't my fault. Like I didn't say this to her, but I was thinking like, I didn't think it was my fault that it, happened. It wasn't
your fault.
So me starting to have all those questions in my head, really made me was like, well, if she thinks that, then maybe other people are going to think that too.
Wow.
So that's what made me really, not talk about it to anybody.
So this really made you almost second guess yourself as to, did I approach this right, or did I put myself out there to be, a target for this? And that's sad, because so many women actually do feel that way. Like, well, maybe if I didn't wear that certain blouse, or if I didn't wear that certain skirt or something like that, there's no excuse. There's any man or any woman that puts their hands on anyone when it's unwarranted, it's abuse, it's assault, and nobody has any business doing that. I don't care what you say. It doesn't matter what the person has on. If you violate someone in someone's personal space, you're wrong for that. And the person that has been a victim of that should never have to apologize. They should never have to feel bad or apologize to other people that they're trying to explain the situation to. And that whole guilt trip, I think, is so wrong for people to do that.
Yeah, and that's why people are quiet about it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Last week, someone posted a video. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a young lady that was in a church, and she was giving a testimony about her own situation that happened, and she started exposing some people that were involved. I don't know, maybe similar to your situation or something, but immediately after she started, exposing the situation, somebody in the church jumped up and said, "Oh no, this is the devil! Like, you can't be telling the truth." And somebody set her down, and I'm like, if there's any safe place that you should be able to expose that, it should be your church family, because that's where everybody wants to be able to feel safe. And unfortunately, they were about to throw this girl out the church for saying this. And I'm like, really? Well, who's the real victim here?
Right. I didn't see that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And, anybody that has to encounter that is very traumatic. It's already traumatic enough for them to have gone through what they've gone through. And I'm quite sure this led to feelings of embarrassment or feelings of everybody's looking at you a certain way, or and I'm assuming, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did you have trouble opening up in relationships after this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I still don't like. Most times, I don't like people touching me. Like at random moments, I don't like people just touching me. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, don't just randomly touch me without asking.
Sure, it's like a violation, right?
It's about control.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely had trust issues with a lot of friends, family members. It was just a lot. Like, I had to learn how to basically be myself again.
Did this make you like a social introvert, so to speak?
All through college, I didn't really do much in college. I was go to class, go back to your room, and watch TV, do your homework, and then repeat. I had one close friend in college, and she was only like one of the only people that I would really talk to and hang out with. And it was I never really liked being in a large group of people. I still don't like being in large crowds of people.
Wow.
But I just need to be aware of my surroundings at all times, and I need to know that where I'm at is safe. I need to know that who I'm with is safe and isn't going to do something that put me in harm's way.
Sure.
Or put themselves in harm's way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still pretty much an introvert. I don't like, unless I'm comfortable with the people I'm around.
Understand.
I don't talk too much.
Okay. So you basically stay around family and close friends for the most part. Yeah. So there's quite a healing process that's still taking place.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. After that amount of time, it's still. Do you encounter dreams sometime, or have nightmares, things, flashbacks?
I used to. God has thankfully healed that part of the journey.
Right.
He's removed that part, so I sleep peacefully now.
Good.
And I've actually seen the attacker on multiple occasions. And,
wow.
I forgave, and I don't hold any bitterness. I don't hold any anger.
That's amazing.
And it's crazy because I want to say 2 days after the whole incident occurred, he actually apologized to me.
What?
He apologized, and
how did you receive that? Like, you probably couldn't even look him in the face.
Well, it wasn't. I didn't see him ever again after that day.
Okay.
Up until I want to say last 2 years ago. But it was through text. Sent me text because it was someone I knew.
Okay.
Sent me text and apologized, and that I knew that it had happened. But that when he apologized, it made it real.
Wow.
So it was like,
Wow.
I didn't just make this up.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I think I don't know what's worse, being attacked from someone that you know or somebody that's a complete stranger.
I
Both.
think it's being attacked by someone you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because you probably there's a trust there. Yeah, and you probably would never think that this person would violate that.
Right. Exactly.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, when your family found out, I'm sure they were probably on attack rage, ready to go after this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could imagine.
But no one, I never revealed who the person was.
Okay. 'Cause I know.
That's not something that I wanted to do.
Okay. I know from speaking from my own point of view, as I have, my wife and I have 3 daughters, and if that ever happened, I would be like an attack dog let out of a cage. I can't even imagine thinking about how, my daughter would feel, or my wife, or anybody close to me like that. I can't even imagine your pain. Just having to deal with yourself, and just even being alone in a room. I'm pretty sure there's quite a tornado of emotions.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. And I had to bring you on the radio show because you are a voice for so many women who have encountered this and don't have a platform to talk about it, or even an open forum to even mention what has happened to them. They're closed in. They're carrying this stuff with them all their lives, and then if they do ever get into a time or place where they welcome a relationship in their lives, they carry all this hurt with them that has never been healed or dealt with. And the person that they're with might think, okay, well, you crazy. What's wrong with you?
Right.
But they've never been healed.
Right.
Or never had the opportunity to even talk about it. That's really sad. But thankfully, you have risen above that and still climbing, I'm sure. This is quite a journey.
It is.
Yeah.
I want to say it's going to be a lifelong journey because
Mm-hmm.
There's times when I do think about what I could have done differently, that maybe it wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But then God reminds me, it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing I can do to change it now.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can do is keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And allowing my testimony to help someone else.
Sure.
Move, forward in their journey.
Yeah. Now, being as though this is a sensitive issue for you, do you have sort of a radar that goes off when you see other young men that may try to target other women? Can you sense it right away now?
No.
No?
No, I don't think that I don't like is aggressive man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's something that bothers me if I see a man being aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that bothers me, but I can't, because I didn't even know that it was the type of person that, he was. I didn't even know that he had the ability to do that.
Mm. See, that's
so nothing really that you can sense. You see people in Hollywood, who seem like regular people,
Mm-hmm.
who don't seem like somebody that would do something like that. But they did.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not really
It doesn't have a face.
right, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense. That, which is even more frightening, so to speak, because there is, sometimes you see pictures of people who have this type of image, and you think, oh yeah, I know that guy is like, this way or that way, and then you look at the guy that's like dressed in a business suit, he looks innocent, like, and he's the one that probably is more
Right.
fits the description of an attacker, and you can't put your finger on it.
Right.
Wow.
It's about power with these people.
Mm-hmm.
Something that they lack in one area, but they take it out in that, and in attacking women because they have power over them.
So it's like an inferiority complex.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think, I wonder about that, the men that do that. Do you think that there was something lacking in their upbringing, maybe, or maybe they didn't have a good father figure, or maybe they perhaps saw that in the men they were around?
I think it could be a whole lot of things. It can be, being bullied at school and, being, mistreated at work or being mistreated at home.
Right.
It's a whole lot of things that can, trigger that in some people.
Wow.
And it's also, I believe, it's the spirit.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Definitely with the spirit of that, because it's happening a lot, or you see it's being talked about a lot now.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Bible speaks about sexual immorality, and that's a part of sexual immorality. So, it said that in the last days, things like this will be occurring. And it's just like it was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah, it's happening now.
Oh, yeah, even more so. Yeah. Now, what about for you? What's next? I mean, do you think maybe a book is going to come out of this, or you have to write a story, maybe just to put it out some more? What do you think?
That's a good question. I actually, when I was in therapy, we actually started to write books.
Okay.
And it was, because if you read the whole blog that was posted, it went on to talk about the relationship I got into after.
Okay.
After the sexual assault happened.
Right.
And that was also an abusive relationship.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
It was more verbally abusive, though.
So you mean to tell me right after you got out of this, you encountered another one?
And that's actually how it wasn't a rape, but this was an actual relationship.
Okay, this is a relationship.
It wasn't. It was a couple months after, and it was a void that I was trying to fill.
Okay.
And I was just, grabbing onto anyone that I felt would fill that void. And it was the wrong person. I was really, really hurting inside, and I lost a lot of my self-confidence. So the person that I was with, I'm not going to say that I'm above, anyone, and I'm not trying to sound shallow, but he wasn't somebody that I would normally go for.
Okay, that's fair.
I just grabbed the first person that showed interest.
Yes.
That I needed to feel wanted.
Totally understand.
So after, that relationship ended as a result of a pregnancy that, I got pregnant, and then that made things even worse. And I ended up terminating pregnancy. So the book talks about, it goes from the rape to the pregnancy, or that relationship, to the pregnancy, to the termination of the pregnancy, and life after. So the book that we started in therapy,
Okay.
So I do still have I guess you could call it manuscript.
Yeah.
I still have that sitting in my email. I'm just waiting for, the go ahead from the Lord, because I don't ever want to do something that's not in the right timing.
I understand. I'm not trying to be the voice of the Lord or nothing, but I'm going to tell you right now that would be a New York Times bestseller. And I'm not to glamorize any of the painful circumstance that you encountered, but sometimes pain is what makes the best stories. And there's, I ain't trying to be funny, but this sounds like a real Lifetime movie. Like it could be a Lifetime movie, seriously, because you talking about the escalation of already having gone through the assault, then on top of that, encountering feeling a loneliness from within, which makes you want to fill a void, so you reach out for whatever's available, which is not even within your caliber of or class of consideration for relationships.
Right.
So you're targeting so many things, so many areas that women have encountered and don't get the platform to talk about. So, I hope the Most High gives you that release very soon, because this book needs to be written. I'm for real. I pray that, this is the release that you need in order to go make that journey happen. Because this book is going to speak to so many issues. You're talking about assault. You're talking about relationships. You're talking about filling a void. You're talking about emptiness. You're talking about having a bad relationship, which in turn led to a pregnancy, that in turn led to terminating of that pregnancy, which means it brought on other emotions such as guilt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're targeting. I mean, I'm surprised TD Jakes haven't called you yet to bring you on Woman Thou Art Loose, because this is like conference worthy material. I'm for real. It sounds kind of comical right now, but really, there's so many women who have encountered this and have not had the voice, or even know that somebody else has encountered the same thing. Because a lot of times you feel so lonely during this type of circumstance that you think that you're by yourself. And I'm pretty sure you probably felt that way. Like there's nobody else that has encountered this like I have. Nobody felt the pain that I'm feeling. Nobody's feeling the emptiness or the embarrassment or the psychological, torment that I'm going through right now. And there's women going to sleep every night in silence, in pain. Some of them are married and can't even describe this stuff to their own husbands.
Right.
And, so, yeah, okay, we're going to pray on that one. you need to put that book out. Seriously, that book can turn into a movie. And I pray that you are encouraged to do so, and that it's not good. Because I'm hoping that it's not fear that's holding you back. But sometimes, fear will cause you to be in a place of, well, is anybody going to accept this? Or, are they really going to take me seriously? Or they think I'm just making up a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo? Is this going to be well received? And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not trying to be prophetic or nothing like that, but I'm going to tell you this, only because I know how people are. Don't look for people that you think should accept this to accept it.
Right.
The audience you're going to get is those people that have been rejected already, that don't have any type of support system. It's not going to be your fellow church people, because some people in the church will probably read the book or buy the book just in a state of support to you. Say, oh, well, yeah, I know Rachel, so I'm going to support her and pay $20 for the book. Get it. But they'll go home and sit it on their shelf and never read it. The person who's going to read your book is somebody who you don't even know, who's probably at the mall, come across the book in Barnes and Noble, whatever, and be like, encounter you, and be like, are you the person who wrote it? Oh my God, you changed my life so much. I didn't know anybody else had went through this besides me. I thought I was by myself. I went through the same thing. I had an abortion. I terminated my whatever. There's so many women who have encountered the same thing that you have encountered, and they're waiting for somebody to connect with. You got to put it out there. I'm telling you, you really do.
All right, I'll get on it.
Yeah, please, because I want to bring a signed copy so you can come to the radio show and then talk about it. We could do a whole 2020 expose on the book. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna check back with you in another 3 months. You're like, you writing the book?
I know.
You know I am. Okay, don't sit on that. That's.
I know.
Let me tell you something. This is the funny thing about the Most High. He will take us through some of the most adverse situations in life that we think are a curse, and we'll be like, why did I have to go through this? I didn't ask for this. I'm sitting minding my own business, and I didn't ask for any of this. And out of that pain, he'll birth some type of deliverance, and where it can help somebody else. And through that helping somebody else or delivering somebody else, he brings the blessing of increase to you. So, don't deny what could be your blessing of increase that could be coming back to you. And, sad to say you had to go through the situation, but somebody somewhere in every situation is a sacrifice.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So those, just like, we look at some of the stars now that are, that have great wealth and great notoriety in the public eye. We don't know that many of them have rags to riches stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like take Tyler Perry, for instance. He talks about how he was homeless prior to living in his car while he was writing plays. And this wasn't that long ago. We're talking like 15, 16 years ago when his plays were popular. Like he was going around to all the different places writing plays and, selling them in Philly, Atlantic City, New York. And we thought, this guy's good. His playwright, his stuff is funny. Never knew that while he was doing this, he was homeless. And he was trying his best to make ends meet. He even talks about how he could not even pay his staff when they were going on the road trying to do these plays. And everybody's sitting there in the audience laughing, not knowing the hurt, pain, and price that this guy is paying. Now he's sitting pretty, but he had to pay a price for it.
Right.
So don't deny yourself of the blessing of increase that could really be upon your life, because you may feel some type of fear or apprehension as to rejection, or like this, my story ain't gonna tell nobody. Maybe 10 people gonna read. No, let me tell you, put it out there. You have to. Is this story in and of itself has so many components that it's going to heal so many people, even men. There's sad to say, there's been a lot of men who have encountered sexual abuse or assault, and they're probably more embarrassed to talk about it than women.
Right, exactly.
One, because men, we deal with pride issues. I ain't talking about that, man. Ain't nothing happened to me. They always go for the toughness. No man wants to ever be in a place of being a victim.
Right.
Because he's too tough for that. Women, we kind of expect, women are emotional, they're vulnerable, they're individuals who need to be protected. And this doesn't make them less than us. It just means that they play a different role in how God created them. And so, there's a different stance taking place when a woman is victimized or she's going through a traumatic situation. And with a man, it's like most of the time he just carries that hurt with him until, his grave, because he's not given, because men are taught from boys, you don't cry, toughen up, man up.
Right.
We're not allowed to show emotion. Women naturally can do that.
Right.
It's okay for a woman to cry at a movie. I watched The Notebook with my wife about 100 times, and every time we watch it, she cries. So you know what I'm saying? There's an emotional component to that men will never understand. But the whole thing is, you, my friend, you have a message, and there's so many other young women that you can probably help, and I'm pretty sure your heart goes out to young women who've encountered this stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How do you feel when you see a young woman that was your age at that time? If you hear her story, that she's encountered something like this, what kind of stuff goes through your mind and your emotions?
It really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
I never want anyone to ever have to experience what I've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of people who have been raped, and it's scary to see the amount. To me, it seems like I know more people who have been sexually assaulted than not.
Okay.
So it bothers me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit scary. So it's nothing that I can really do, but just share my story with them, and tell them that it's going to get better,
Mm-hmm.
and God is a healer. If you want to be healed,
Right.
Some people like to hold on to that bitterness. It gives them something. Like I don't know what it does for them, but some people don't want to be healed from that bitterness. They want to be angry, but I wasn't one of those people that wanted to be angry. But to see someone else going through it, does really bother me.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart really does go out to them, because I know what
Right.
it's like to be in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to not want to tell anybody. It's embarrassing.
Right.
Because it's like, what did you do to put yourself in that predicament? Kind of.
Yes. That's true.
So I just always make myself available. So
That's good. That's very good. Because people need people like yourself to be available, because too many of us aren't.
right.
And I have to revisit the portion you said earlier about how you were able to forgive this guy. That is more than courageous in and of itself. I mean, what brought you to that point? I'm pretty sure your faith had a lot to do with that. But to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to hold any grudges, even though you violated me, you misused my trust. How did you even come to that point? I'm pretty sure that it didn't happen overnight.
Oh, absolutely not. It was something that I had to do to get healing. I couldn't be healed if I was still